Good afternoon. In this video, I'm going to show you what was behind Breaker's little video on slavery. And now he's holding up his hand saying, I didn't mean that, I didn't mean this, it's lying, this, that, that. Get the book. From his teacher, he talks about Ruckman. Segregation, integration. What saith the scriptures? Page 42. Let's see what he says here. 1. The Shemites have civil rights concerning slavery promised to no other nation or race. Deuteronomy 24:7. 2. The mistreatment of servants is forbidden. 3. The misconduct of servants is forbidden. He's quoting a number of scriptures here. 4. The saved man is a slave to Christ, even though free. Slave, not servant. He's a servant. Slavery the first time, concerning slavery, Shemites have civil rights concerning slavery, Deuteronomy 24:7. Then he uses servants, quoting various passages. Number 4, the saved man is a slave to Christ. And he quotes 1 Corinthians 7:20-24. That was the con, the sleight of hand that Robert Breaker's trying to tell you people. He wants to teach you exactly what Ruckman was teaching you. The slave is free from sin though in chains if he is saved. The slave's imposition is nowhere done away with in either testament. Because in the scripture, 1 Corinthians 7:20-24, Revelation 6:15, 1 Timothy 6:1-5. My, what a shocking discovery for our little Greek scholars, quote unquote, who think the Civil War was over a Christian issue. The South wanted to expand slavery. That's what the war was over. These neo-Confederate liars will lie to you and lie to you and lie to you. Because they are liars. And their thinking is warped. This is a King James Bible believer, King Ruckman, telling you, using the word slave in 1 Corinthians 7:20-24. That is exactly what Robert Breaker was trying to tell you. Doulos, servant and slave, he's saying. Marriage, foreigners not to be mistreated. A runaway slave is to be returned, Philemon. Foreigners are to be mistreated. Or not to be mistreated, excuse me. Marriage is forbidden with other races. Go read Breaker's thing on integration, Christian intermarriage. Think I'm making it up. He wouldn't pull it down. He has the articles up. And he's called me a liar. Abraham's Hamitic relationship ends with the loss of 13 years of fellowship. Lot's Hamitic relationship, Hamad, black. A relationship ends in tragedy, as Moses did in Numbers 12:1, as David did in 2 Samuel 11:3 Hittite. And Timothy winds up with a confused testimony that makes it necessary for him to be circumcised by the very man who spent 3 chapters downing circumcision, because Timothy was married to Greek. Now, in Ruckman's reference Bible, he says there's nothing that forbids a Christian interracial marriage. But it brings up Timothy because Timothy's father was a Greek, and so that caused some confusion to the witnessing. This is the guy who Breaker brags about. I went to PBI and my teacher Ruckman. He's trying to get back with the Ruckman guys. He's trying to move closer, you can ask, God, you say the prayer as long as you believe, and it's a heart belief, as long as you can ask, but, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't like being on the outs with the Ruckman guys. If that was not enough, common sense would tell any man that any race he would be happy with his own people in any activity. Okay? That's it. That's the summation of what the Ruckman guys teach people. It's all in the book. I'm not making anything up. It's all on Breaker's website. He has 2 websites now. But he has a whole thing for his great-grandfather to tell you how, the Christians, both had some Bible, but, the Northerners, they spiritualized, So, slavery was fine, it was fine. So no problem there. Let's see, he's got here. Ham's descendants are said to be a servant of servants. Not only let that robe choir buzz you. The reason Canaan's name is used instead of Ham's is obvious from the context. Since Ham's sin was sodomy, no proof of that. They don't know what the sin was. You know, they don't know. Ham did a sin. He wasn't blessed the other two brothers because they did something, but you say about Ham sinning. There's a guy, King James Bible only, reading something's not there. They're all doing this now. So Breaker does with the issue of the 144,000, along with Stouffer. Since Ham's sin was sodomy, it would be just to curse his seed. His sin had to do with procreation. Therefore, the prophecy deals with Ham's seed. No, they were his son. Okay, that's what that wouldn't do with him. Furthermore, Noah could not curse Ham, for God had just blessed him. Oh, so that's what. Yeah, they're using this stuff. To isolate Canaan alone as a recipient of prophecy is to violate the principle already laid down in the passage. The entire passage is federal headship, which can be seen immediately by the preceding prophecy in Japheth and Shem. Japheth's prophecy and Shem's prophecy were not limited to themselves as individuals. Now, what curious turn of events makes the integrationist isolate Canaan as a lone recipient of his prophecy while sticking to the racial prophecies of the other two brothers is a great mystery. Well, they were blessed for doing something. Ham wasn't. But Ham wasn't cursed. Canaan was. And Canaan, you look in the Chronicles, you see Canaan looks like Canaan was the oldest son. That's his youngest son, his oldest son, I think youngest son. So he could have been the grandson that was involved in what. Ham saw it and saw what happened. We don't know what happened. It is an insoluble melee. It is so great a mystery, quote unquote, that no one has ever found it out, including the integrationists. Okay. Let's see. Well, now the book is still for sale. You think, oh, he changes our views, and this is, let's get the book. I just bought this book. I just bought it a little while ago. Let me see what else we got here. Here we go. Here's some good ones. Love, quote unquote, doesn't cause a white man to go into a colored restroom, or vice versa. That's why we see Breaker talk about the communists coming down. He's talking about the 60s and 70s, civil rights. Communists on this issue now. But that's what he was doctrining with people. Segregation of animals, segregation of nations from each other. Yeah, that's nationalism. Segregation of Israelites, segregation of Christians. Well, from sin. 2 Corinthians 6:14, not from other Christians. Okay? This is the rationalization, people. For example, when we are concerned with the problem of segregation and integration from a Christian standpoint, is primarily what saith the scriptures. So now he's going to go throughout, distort the scriptures and say the word slavery is used in the passage from 1 Corinthians. Now, again, if he wrote this, a long time ago, and they pull the book out and say, look, go to his commentary on Acts, and he says, Timothy, you're free to intermarry racial, there's no prohibition of Christian interracial marriage. And then he gives nonsense about, well, Timothy, lost his witness because his father was a Greek, and he had to be circumcised. Let's see. This is what Breaker's telling you people. When he put up that word doulos and said servant, slave means the other. And so Ruckman changed the word servant to slave in that passage. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh, if the race mixer would stick to the spiritual oneness of believers in Christ, he might have some ground. No, he'd have a total, complete ground. Complete ground, not some grounds. Some grounds for some kind of integration. But to attempt to build a commercial, religious, political machine by indiscriminately mixing the races and then trying to sell it to Christians as scriptural, well, that is pulling the rabbit out of the hat for only a sucker could take it seriously. Okay? I'm making it up. This is Breaker's teaching. This is what you're finding on Breaker's. His great-grandfather was, fought in the Civil War Confederate side. So, and those Yankees came down, and they had King James Bible. They were spiritualized. We know slavery is scriptural. So again, the saved man is a slave to Christ. 1 Corinthians 7:20-24. Well, I defy you to find the word slave in that verse. I'll give you $1 million. You can find that word slave in that verse. Remember, welcome this joke on that. Well, Ed, you couldn't come up with $1 million. I can get the $1 million quickly as you can find the verse. The word slave. How would you get the word slave in that verse? Well, you do with Break It did. You go to doulos. Yeah. That's what he's trying to con you with. He's up there now, I don't know, what's the whole thing about bringing his wife into this issue now? You have a hide behind your wife. Let me read here something from, this is an excellent book, very, very, the King James Version, 400 Years and Influence and Beauty on the Bible. The King James Bible is such a phenomenon. And I can find here, okay. The King James Version heritage in this country is rich. In the 1860s, soldiers on both sides of the Civil War carried only a few essential essential things, in addition to the 58 caliber muskets. In the knapsacks and haversacks, they would invariably have some writing materials, a toothbrush, tobacco, and a King James Bible. But of course, the Northerners know how to read the King James Bible. They were all spiritualists. None of them. They were only the Southerners were real Christians. According to Breaker. You think I'm lying? Read the article. In fact, there were terrific stories of soldiers' lives being saved because bullets intended for them hit their Bibles instead. One of them was Private Walter G. Jones of the 8th New York Cavalry Company, whose pocket Bible shows where 2 holes had gone straight through, revealing a total of 4 clean holes where it was open to a passage, saving his life at the Battle of Cedar Creek in 1864. These soldiers carried the King James Version not because it was the preferred translation, for it was pretty much the only one available at the time. Yeah, it's one Bible. It's not other Bibles. It's not why it shouldn't be called a version. It's King James Bible. You also New American Standard, they call themselves a Bible. New American Standard. It's not the American Standard Version. See, the modern versions always want to talk about, well, you guys are trying to say you're the Bible. Well, that's New American Standard. New American Standard Bible. The Bible, they're all Bibles, but then it's only the Bible. Means what? These soldiers carried the King James, okay, but because they believed that by carrying it, they'd be in the presence of God. That's how serious they took this book. Oh, only Southerners did. Excuse me, the Northerners didn't. It wasn't long ago that the King James Bible was a powerful weapon against the onslaughts of life. It was as important or more important than daily food rations. That's what I guess the Bible says. It says in Job, he desires his word more than my necessary meat. In the autobiographies or narrative lives, as they were often called, of freed African American slaves, it was common to hear that a man or woman learned to read by reading the King James Version. And it was often the only King James Version that they learned to read, almost by the drive of desire or miracle. They forget that the issue of this is, we know slavery was never a racist issue until the South made it a racial issue. After the National Rebellion, they began to stop teaching blacks how to read and write. They were afraid they didn't want blacks to think. Because if you start thinking, man, I'm going to get out of here. Get out of this place. In some cases, their reading was said to have begun appropriately with the first chapters of the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him. Without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Reading this book was the only reading that mattered. So, that's what that issue is, Robert Breaker. You can get up there and I'm lying. This book is still for sale from his teacher, Peter Ruckman. And Ruckman changes the word servant to slave in one of the versions. And it's exactly what Blake was telling you to do. He was telling you, when you see the word servant, you contain the word slave, just like his teacher did. And you see what the whole idea, he might be some grounds for integration, this is the core, this is what comes out of that school, PBI people. They were rooted and grounded in this, indoctrinated in it. And unless they actually refute it, but here you got a guy putting up a Confederate page, and he has to put what Blake always does. He wants to always put the disclaimers up and think, see, you can't accuse me because I put disclaimers. I'm not setting dates because I have a disclaimer. I'm not, I'm putting up all this Confederate nonsense, but this is not meant to offend anybody. Yes, he does. And then he can, he always has plausible deniability. What you're seeing is a guy who's rooted and grounded, and all of them are. Will come up and buck him. What do you think Brian got the way he is? Well, maybe Brian figured out himself, figured out weird stuff. Brian stays saying the same thing that Breaker stays saying. He wants, segregationists, basically separatists. He wants to be white, and the idea is, well, we're not racist, because we don't want to kill everybody. But the fact is there's a mild racism and there's an extreme racism. That's all. The idea is only like one type of thing. It's like this guy, he's making an issue of his own color. And he's all hypersensitive about the fact, well, you people are picking on the white South, it wasn't that bad, and this, that, and the other thing. There's no one picking on him. Kept an own warped imagination. But then they started teaching these doctrines as true. Well, yeah, you can't, a white man going into the black colored, as he said, the colored man's bathroom. Segregation. Have tip water fountains and stuff. What are you people nuts? So that's what they weren't talking about. And he can deny and deny and deny, but here you got it. King James Bible believer, Peter Ruckman, one of the outstanding areas, and he puts in there and he changes the word servant to slave in that verse. And that's exactly what Breaker was telling you can do. Because doulos, being slave. And the fact that I go to Whipplinger's work, and she says exactly why the King James Bible didn't use the word slave in the New Testament. And all the modern versions do. And the fact was, there was a relationship issue that God wanted, which Breaker denies. He says, oh, you people think the servant's free will and the slave doesn't have any free will. Well, that's the normal connotation. I mean, there was a year of Jubilee, 50 years, all slaves were freed, and all slaves using it in Leviticus 25. So, that's the reality, people. And no one's lying about anybody. So, I'm going to put this up, and look. I tell you to read the articles. Read his view on integrated marriage. He's still up. He's been told, take it down. You don't believe it. All my friends are married to different, races of women. But I see how tolerant I am. I still have them as friends. Then at the bottom of the article it says, please pray from, where do you get these weird ideas? Please pray that God give me a white wife, or a wife of my own race, or something. No, don't give me good Christian right. Just give me a wife. Maybe show us white, You would think that's fine. You go after Brian Denninger. But you leave Robert Breaker alone because he smiles a lot. And you go, oh, hey, I just want to get everybody saved. I don't know why everybody's picking on me. Hey, you got the stuff up. Take it down. He won't. He believes it. He talks about my teacher, Peter Ruckman. Okay, yeah. I went to PBI. And he tries to say 6 years. No, let's get 4 years to condense it to 3. And that video up there, he's talking. I think the last one I saw on his, he first was like 4 years. There's 6 year things condensed 3 years. There's a 4 year. And the problem with Bible college is they don't teach you to think. They stuff your head with a lot of Bible knowledge, but you don't learn how to think. That's why you have these guys come up with this stuff. They don't know how to think critically. It's all illogical. 144,000 coming from the tribe, 12 tribes around Bethlehem, still for saying the same stuff. Easy. Every non-dispensationalist will be laughing Are you out of your mind? So, I mean, yeah, that's just, idiocy. But they went, oh, and this even gets better. Okay, get out of here, will you? Let's stop and put this up. Amen. Thank you.